Somewhere today, a weaker man is taking what should be yours, not with talent, not with truth. He just moves first. He speaks like the world already belongs to him, and the world believes him. Meanwhile, you wait, you hesitate, you shrink. Confidence isn't a passing feeling, it's a blade. If you don't wield it, someone else will press it against your throat. This isn't about arrogance or noise, it's about presence, about stepping forward before doubt even forms. Stop asking for permission to exist. Today, you learn to speak like decisions, move like gravity, and claim space as if you were born to. Part 1. The Inner Servant. You weren't born cautious. A newborn doesn't second-guess its cry. A child doesn't ask permission to laugh. That hesitation you carry wasn't always there. It was taught. Layered onto you by rules, rewards, and small humiliations that cut a little deeper than you admitted. Each one chipped away at raw instinct until you believed safety lived in approval. Maybe it started early. A teacher frowned when you spoke out of turn. A parent sighed when you reached too high or too loud. The message was simple. Don't risk too much. Don't stand out. Don't make people uncomfortable. Over time, those small corrections built a cage. You learned to check faces before you spoke, to measure your words for softness, to wait for a signal that said, "Go ahead, it's okay." What you call humility is often just the memory of punishment. Inside you, a servant was born. He is polite, agreeable, easy to manage. He apologizes before a sentence is complete. He edits himself mid-thought. He tries to read the room and adjust, so no one feels threatened. He flinches at the first sign of judgment, eyes darting for an exit. He is terrified of being misunderstood. This servant doesn't serve you. He serves everyone else. He protects their comfort at the cost of your life. He shrinks your voice so theirs can echo. He waits so they can move. He bends so they can stand tall. And every time he wins, you lose another inch of your own skin. Kill him. Not with rage, not with noise. Kill him quietly, with small acts of defiance. When you feel yourself shrinking, expand. Straighten your back, even if your heart is hammering. When the urge to explain rises, pause. Let silence sit heavy. Don't fill it with justification. Let them wonder. When you want to apologize for existing, stare instead. Meet their eyes. Hold the weight of the moment until it tips toward you. Dangerous confidence isn't about attacking the world. It's defiance against your smaller self. It's standing where you'd usually fold. It's walking forward without waiting to be picked. Consider this. The world doesn't reward the most talented or the most moral. It rewards the ones who act as if they belong. Power is perception. Perception bends towards certainty. When you stop performing submission, people recalibrate around you. They may test you. Most will. But tests are just noise. The real shift happens when you stop needing to pass them. Remember the first time you stayed quiet after someone insulted you? How the room shifted. That wasn't weakness. That was gravity. Remember the first time you said no without a paragraph of reasons? The world didn't collapse. It adjusted. Killing the servant isn't a single moment. It's repetition in reverse. You undo the training by new patterns. Walk into rooms without glancing for approval. Take up a little more space at the table. Speak fewer words, but let them land heavy. Leave some questions unanswered. Let someone else rush to fill the silence. It will feel wrong at first. Like walking barefoot on cold stone. Your body will crave the old safety, the nodding, the softening, the bending. But safety is the lie that keeps you small. The servant will whisper, "Be nice." Don't upset them. Wait, ignore him. His survival means your disappearance. In time, you'll notice something. When you stop trying to be small, people stop treating you as small. They start measuring their words. They start leaning in when you speak. They start watching your reactions instead of controlling them. This isn't arrogance. Arrogance is loud. Arrogance seeks applause. Confidence, real confidence, doesn't need to be seen. It simply exists. It's the quiet refusal to flinch. It's the steady gaze that says, "I don't ask twice. There will be losses. Some people liked you better as a servant. They won't say it outright, but they'll drift. Let them. The cost of their comfort is too high. Stand still. Let the room adjust. Let your words be decisions, not suggestions." Dangerous confidence doesn't announce itself. It grows in the pauses, in the stare that doesn't break, in the moment you expand instead of shrink. The world trains most men to beg for permission. You will not beg. You will not explain. You will not soften the edges that make you whole. The servant inside you has had his time. He kept you safe when you didn't know better. But safety isn't freedom. Freedom is walking into the room, unarmed but unafraid, and letting the air change because you arrived. Kill the servant. Not the world. Not the people. Only the version of you that waits to be chosen. The rest of your life begins where he ends. Part 2. Presence over noise. Powerful men don't arrive loudly. They don't burst through doors or spray words like confetti. They enter quietly, and the room changes without understanding why. Presence is not a shout. It's a shift in the air. It's the way the floor seems to tilt toward you even when you haven't spoken. They arrive with presence, not noise. Presence doesn't need an introduction or applause. It doesn't seek recognition. It's the weight behind a glance, the calm in a crowded room, the patience that unsettles people who depend on chaos to feel important, not through voice, but through silence, stillness, a stare that unsettles. People are used to noise, to explanations, to chatter, to desperate bids for attention. Silence exposes them. They rush to fill it. They reveal themselves in the words they spill to escape discomfort. And all the while, you say nothing. You learn everything. Silence is control. Talking makes you predictable. Every unnecessary word is a breadcrumb someone can follow back to your fears, your insecurities, your strategy. The quiet man leaves no trail. The quiet man is threat and gravity. He doesn't compete for attention. He pulls it without effort. When you walk into a room, don't seek permission. Don't scan for approval. Walk in. Observe. Absorb. The ones who rush to speak will show you their hunger. The ones who posture will show you their weakness. Let them. Your strength is in patience, not performance. Move slowly. Predators don't sprint unless it's time to strike. Fast movement signals desperation, panic, or fear. Slow movement signals choice. It tells the world you are in no hurry because time bends to you. Speak to decide, not impress. Words are not decoration. They are currency. Spend them like they cost you something. Most people talk to be liked. They sprinkle softness over their sentences like sugar on stale bread. But when you speak, let it sound final. Let it sound like a decision has been made, not a suggestion floated. Every sentence, final. Every pause, pressure. A pause is not empty. It is a weight. It makes people wonder what you're thinking, if you're judging, if you're waiting for them to reveal more. Pauses turn conversations into confessions. If they respect you, good. If they don't, better. Indifference to approval is the final form of power. When you don't need their validation, you stop playing their game. approval becomes irrelevant. You stop chasing, stop bending, stop softening edges to fit into rooms that don't deserve you. Presence is more than silence. It's the sum of small choices, the way you hold your shoulders, the steadiness of your breath, the way your eyes don't dart around the room like a trapped animal. Presence is the refusal to explain yourself when silence is enough. Imagine a crowded meeting. Voices overlap, laughter spills out, someone dominates with volume. Then you speak. Just a few words, calm and low. The room stills. Not because you're louder, but because you sound like a verdict. That's presence. Presence is felt before it's understood. People may not remember your exact words. They remember the shift they felt when you looked at them, the sudden awareness that their performance was transparent. They remember you didn't scramble for approval or compete for attention. This isn't about arrogance or coldness. It's about discipline. Loud men are easy to read. They reveal their desperation in every outburst, every over-explanation, every nervous laugh. You are unreadable. That unsettles them. Presence requires restraint. You'll be tempted to prove yourself, to fill silence with words, to join noise so you're not forgotten. Don't. Resisting that impulse is what builds gravity. The world will test you with silence, waiting to see if you crack. Pass the test. Let the silence stretch. Let them feel small in the noise they create. The room will start to bend toward you. Not immediately. Slowly. People will lower their voices when you look their way. They'll watch your reactions before they speak. They'll wait for your approval even when you never asked for it. Presence over noise means you no longer fight for position. You become the position. You're not performing to be noticed. You're reminding them quietly that you don't need to be. Indifference to approval frees you. You're no longer chasing laughter or applause. You're not afraid of being misunderstood. You're not eager to correct every misreading. You let them wonder. Let them underestimate. Let them build their own stories about you. In time, they'll learn the truth. Power isn't loud. It doesn't beg to be seen. It doesn't dance for attention. It stands still. It waits. It chooses its moment. And when it moves, it doesn't ask. It takes. That's presence. That's control. That's what makes noise fade around you. When you own the room through silence and stillness, you don't just participate. You bend the atmosphere. And the world, quietly, bends with you. Part 3. Dark Intelligence. There's an intelligence they never teach. You won't find it in classrooms or corporate manuals. It isn't measured by tests or praised in speeches. It moves quietly, in shadows, surgical, invisible. You've seen it without realizing. The man who never raises his voice yet bends the room with a single glance. The woman who smiles politely while pulling strings no one else notices. The person in the corner who speaks rarely but shifts the entire conversation when they do. That's dark intelligence, unannounced, unsettling, undeniable. It doesn't rush, it doesn't beg, it doesn't explain. Dark intelligence watches instead of reacts. It positions instead of pleads. It ends things quietly, without noise or spectacle. By the time others recognize what's happening, the board has already been rearranged. You start by noticing. Before you speak, before you plan, notice. Watch the way people reveal themselves when they think no one is paying attention. Listen for cracks in stories that seemed solid. Study the nervous laughter after a cruel joke. Observe who needs approval, who fishes for praise, who brags to mask fear. The world gives itself away if you stay quiet long enough. Smile at the jokes, not to join, but to measure desperation. Your smile isn't consent, it's data. You're cataloging the hunger behind the humor, the need behind the noise. This isn't cynicism, it's clarity. People are predictable when they feel safe. They drop their masks. They loosen their grip on secrets. That's when you slip in silently. No fanfare, no announcement. You're already there, listening, learning, mapping the terrain of their emotions. Dark intelligence doesn't fight for position. It creates position. It doesn't shout for recognition. It waits until recognition becomes unavoidable. It doesn't ask for power. It moves the pieces until power has nowhere else to go. Consider a crowded room full of talkers, everyone trying to impress, to charm, to dominate. You stand near the edge, saying little. At first, you're overlooked. Good. Let them overlook you. Let them underestimate you. Let them speak too freely, thinking you're harmless. Their own words will reveal what you need to know. Patience is your ally. Haste is your enemy. Loud people show their hands early. Desperate people telegraph their moves. The one who waits, listens, and notices can see every angle before choosing a single step. This kind of intelligence is not about outsmarting in a flashy way. It's about surviving and shaping outcomes without leaving fingerprints. You learn to ask the right questions, not to get answers, but to watch reactions. Why do you think that? What happened after? Harmless on the surface, devastating beneath it. You learn to let silence do the heavy lifting. Most people can't stand silence. They rush to fill it. They confess without realizing. They reveal leverage points because they need noise to feel safe. You begin to see through the world's performance. You see utility where others see charm. You see weakness where others see bravado. You see leverage where others see friendship. This isn't cruelty, it's vision. When others are blinded by their own emotions, you see the grid behind the game. Dark intelligence is not about manipulation for sport. It's about refusing to be manipulated. It's the armor against flattery, guilt, and pressure. It's knowing when to step forward and when to disappear. It's choosing your battles so precisely that by the time you strike, there's no battle left to fight. Over time, your perception sharpens. You become 5 seconds faster than everyone else. 5 steps ahead. You're not reacting. You're predicting. You're not guessing. You're reading the map they unknowingly drew for you. This intelligence doesn't announce itself. Announcements invite opposition. Instead, it waits. It gathers. It builds a position so quietly that when you finally act, people call it luck or genius. It isn't either. It's preparation wrapped in silence. Remember, you don't reveal your full mind. You let them see 60%, just enough to underestimate you. The rest stays hidden, like a fox in tall grass. The less they know, the more control you have. In a world addicted to noise, restraint is terrifying. Most people broadcast their every thought. You won't. Most people rush to defend themselves. You won't. Most people crave to be understood. You won't. You'll let them misunderstand. You'll let them misjudge. You'll let them build false stories while you move quietly behind them. That's the heart of dark intelligence. Cold patience, quiet precision, silent dominance. It isn't about being feared or loved. It's about being unreadable. They can't control what they can't predict. And when they finally realize how much you've seen, it will be too late. By then, The outcome will already belong to you. Part 4. Traits of the dangerously intelligent. 1. Emotional disconnection. You feel everything: the sting of insult, the warmth of praise, the quiet pull of doubt. But you don't move just because it hurts or flatters. You hold it. Turn it in your hands. Study it like a stone you found on the road. Anger becomes analysis. You ask why it landed, where it came from, and what it reveals about the one who threw it. You don't lash out. You collect the data. Fear becomes foresight. You don't let it freeze you or push you into reckless action. You trace its edges, follow it backward to its source, and forward to its consequence. Fear becomes a map, not a cage. Joy becomes observation. Even delight is examined. Who offered it? Why now? What might they need from you? This isn't numbness, it's discipline. You're not detached from life, you're detached from manipulation. Others will try to move you with guilt, flattery, or panic. They'll expect you to flinch, to soften, to fold, but you don't. You feel everything. You act on nothing, unless it serves your outcome, and that quiet, deliberate restraint unsettles them more than any outburst ever could. It's not cruelty. It's control. Second, surgical observation. You don't just look, you dissect. Every gesture, every glance, every stumble of breath is a piece of a larger map. Most people watch faces for smiles or frowns. You watch hands, how they fidget when the truth is close. You watch eyes, how they dart when a lie is forming. You listen to tone, where it trembles, where it hardens, where it cracks under the weight of its own pretense. You notice the small pauses between words, the sudden change in rhythm when a story slips from rehearsed to real. You hear what isn't said, the names avoided, the details skipped, the emotion choked down. Silence becomes your tool. You let it stretch just a little too long. People rush to fill it. They pour out the very secrets they meant to guard. You don't have to push. You don't even have to ask. You just wait. Observation at this level isn't cold voyeurism, it's survival. In a world of noise and performance, details are the only honest language. You don't interrupt, you don't accuse, you file the information away, sharp and ready. And when the time comes to act, you'll move with the precision of someone who already knows. Third, controlled presence. Rarity is power. You don't show up everywhere, laughing too loud or filling every silence just to be seen. You choose your moments the way a craftsman chooses his tools, carefully, deliberately. You're missed when absent. People notice the space you leave behind. They replay your last words, measure their own against your silence. They wonder what you're doing, who you're with, what move you're making that they can't see. Your absence becomes a quiet pressure. Mystery bends behavior. People adjust themselves around what they don't understand. They tread softer, speak slower, second-guess their own performances. They sense there's more beneath your calm surface, and they don't want to provoke what they can't predict. Controlled presence isn't aloofness or arrogance. It's restraint. It's knowing that showing everything makes you ordinary. It's walking into a room without rushing to claim attention, then watching as attention finds you anyway. You reveal just enough to stir curiosity, but never enough to be predictable. You let questions hang unanswered. You let them lean in, because the man who can vanish without explanation and return without apology doesn't chase relevance. He defines it, and the world, quietly, bends around him. Fourth, strategic speech. Every word is a move. You don't waste them on chatter or decoration. Words are currency, and you spend them as if each one costs a piece of your life. Every pause is a trap. You let it hang just long enough for discomfort to set in. People rush to fill empty air. They reveal their doubts, their needs, their insecurities. You learn more in silence than you ever could in argument. Silence after a strong statement dares challenge. Most won't take the dare. They'll nod, even if they disagree, because your calm makes them question their footing. Loud voices invite debate. Quiet certainty ends it. You don't explain what doesn't need explaining. You don't soften a hard truth to make it palatable. You don't preface decisions with apologies. I think becomes I decide. Maybe becomes nothing at all. Strategic speech isn't about eloquence. It's about precision. The right phrase at the right moment can shift an entire room. The wrong phrase, spoken too quickly, can expose you. So you speak sparingly, with intent. You let your tone, your timing, your stillness do most of the talking. And when you do speak, your words don't invite approval. They command respect. 5. Unshakable self-reliance. Needing nothing makes you untouchable. When your worth doesn't hinge on applause, permission, or a soft word, people lose their grip on you. They can't lure you with praise or trap you with silence. They can't dangle affection like a leash. Guilt, shame, obligation, useless against you. These are the tools the world uses to keep men small. A mother's sigh, a boss's raised brow, a lover's cold shoulder. Most fold under them. You don't. You take the sigh, the brow, the silence, and keep walking. Not because you're cruel, but because you've built your own approval deep inside. Self-reliance isn't isolation, it's freedom. It means you can stand beside others without leaning on them. You can love without begging. You can lead without seeking consensus. It doesn't mean you refuse help. It means you're whole without it. It doesn't mean you reject connection. It means you choose it. People will test you, withdraw affection, withhold praise, push your buttons. When you don't flinch, when you stay calm and unshaken, they understand. Manipulation doesn't work here. That calm independence is what sets you apart. The man who needs nothing can't be moved by anything. And that makes him unstoppable. Part 5. Application. Silent domination. Control conversations. Don't dominate them. Domination is noisy. It's the man who interrupts, argues, and performs. Control is quiet. It's the person who lets others speak until they reveal the very thing they meant to hide. You're not trying to win points in public. You're gathering information and bending outcomes without leaving fingerprints. Ask questions that look innocent, but reveal leverage. Simple, soft phrases. How did that make you feel? Or, what happened after? They don't sound threatening, but they open doors people meant to keep closed. A harmless question, asked at the right time, can expose ambition, insecurity, or a plan you're not supposed to know. You're not interrogating, you're guiding. Use silence as pressure. Most people can't sit in it. They rush to fill it, to explain, to justify. You wait. You let them drown in their own words. Their need to be understood becomes your advantage. Mirror emotions, then redirect them. If someone's angry, don't meet their fire with your own. Match their energy just enough to earn their trust, then turn it sideways. Channel their anger toward a third party or a new target. If they're proud, play humble. Then place them where their pride serves your goal. Pride is predictable. Handle it like a tool, not a threat. Never reveal your depth. Give 60%, enough to appear open, enough to seem harmless. Let them believe they're smarter. Let them believe they're leading. People grow careless when they think they have the upper hand. And when they step into traps they built themselves, you won't have to lift a finger. They'll walk right where you guided them. Don't explain your strategy. Don't announce your victories. Mystery keeps people cautious. When they don't know your full reach, they hesitate. Hesitation is power. Erase, don't avenge. Revenge is noisy, emotional, and messy. Erasure is clean. A closed door without noise haunts longer than rage. Cut access quietly. Remove your presence without announcement. Let absence do what confrontation never could. The person left outside that door will replay every word, every silence, searching for a reason. The silence becomes the punishment. This doesn't make you heartless. It makes you deliberate. You're not in the business of teaching lessons through drama. You're in the business of moving pieces without warning. Imagine a workplace where someone undercuts you in a meeting. The ordinary response is to fire back, defend, or sulk. Silent domination says, wait. Let the moment pass. Later, in a smaller room, ask a single question that reveals their insecurity. Plant a seed of doubt in their ally. Shift your posture slightly when they speak next time. Enough that others sense a fracture. You never raise your voice. You never look ruffled. But the room starts to tilt. Or consider a relationship where someone withholds affection to control you. Don't plead. Don't retaliate. Withdraw quietly. Make your presence rare. Let the void teach them what your attention is worth. If they try to provoke you into chasing, stay still. Stillness is harder to fight than anger. Silent domination is restraint. It's patience sharpened into strategy. It's understanding that power isn't taken by noise. It's given to the one who wastes no movement. You're not competing for approval or visibility. You're shaping outcomes. Even small interactions become fields for quiet control. A raised eyebrow at the right moment can derail someone's certainty. A single calm sentence can close a discussion. A well-timed pause can make a crowd doubt their own convictions. Most will never notice the details you're shaping. They'll call it luck or charisma. Let them. The less they understand, the stronger your position becomes. The key is to move without bitterness. Erasure isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're not punishing for sport. You're adjusting your world to remove distractions and threats. You leave no spectacle behind, only a space where you used to be, and the echo of a door that closed without a sound. Silent domination is elegance. It's control without force, influence without exposure. It's the art of bending reality so quietly that by the time others notice, it already belongs to you. And when you master this, you won't need to demand respect. The room will offer it, unprompted, every time you walk in, or when you choose not to. Part 6. Relationships, the hidden arena. The most dangerous arena isn't war or business, it's relationships. Battlefields and boardrooms have rules, referees, and clear victories. Relationships have none. They're fluid, emotional, and deeply personal. Most people walk into them unarmed, thinking love alone will protect them. Most people surrender power for affection. They trade their standards for company. They over-explain to smooth tension. They beg to be forgiven. They bleed themselves dry to keep the other person comfortable. They confuse sacrifice with strength. And when the balance shifts against them, they wonder why respect disappeared. You don't. You listen, you vanish. You don't wrestle for understanding or chase explanations. Disrespect isn't confronted, it's disqualified. You remove access quietly, without drama or warning. A slammed door is loud and obvious. A door that closes without a sound lingers in the mind. Your silence is more frightening than anger. Anger can be argued with, soothed, or matched. Silence leaves questions hanging in the air. Did they go too far? Did they just lose you? The uncertainty becomes a weight they can't ignore. Absence punishes more than words. Words can be dismissed. Absence cannot. When you disappear, they feel the sudden void. The world seems smaller, colder. They replay every moment, searching for the line they crossed. They tell themselves you'll return, but they know the odds are shrinking. Affection won't buy access. People will try to use tenderness as leverage, a touch, a compliment, a memory of better days. But affection without respect is manipulation. You don't need flattery or warmth badly enough to trade your self-respect. Loyalty without strategy is nothing. People confuse loyalty with blind obedience. Real loyalty is chosen, earned, and mutual. You don't stay because you're afraid of being alone. You stay when alignment exists, when respect flows both ways. When it doesn't, you revoke proximity. Proximity is a privilege you can revoke anytime. Your closeness is not a right granted at birth or earned once forever. It's maintained through respect and honesty. When those vanish, you vanish. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You don't punish people for mistakes. They're human. But you don't reward patterns that degrade you. You set boundaries without speeches. You enforce standards without threats. Your actions speak. You either rise to meet me, or you watch me walk away. Imagine a friend who constantly undercuts you in public, then laughs it off. Most people argue or plead for kindness. You don't. You stop offering them a stage. You become less available. You invest your energy elsewhere. Quietly, without ceremony, they lose their place. Or picture a lover who withholds affection to make you chase. Most will chase, apologize, bend. You won't. You hold your ground. You let the distance stretch until they see what life feels like without your presence. And if they don't adjust, you accept the loss. Because love without respect is not love. It's dependency. This approach doesn't make you cold. It makes you precise. It means you value connection deeply enough to demand that it be real. It means you refuse to bargain with your dignity for companionship. People will call you distant. They'll call you hard. Let them. The ones worth keeping will understand that silence can hold more love than noise, that absence can be a teacher, and that respect is the foundation of every bond worth building. In relationships, the hidden arena, you don't seek to dominate. You seek to remain unshakable. You can love fully, but you won't collapse to keep love. You can forgive, but you won't forget your standards. And in time, the people who stay will stay differently. Not because you begged them, but because your presence is rare, your absence is heavy, and your respect is a privilege they won't risk losing again. Closing. By now you're not louder, you're colder. Still but not weak. Quiet but not passive. You don't chase, you attract. You don't react, you design. The noise of the world passes over you without leaving a mark. The storms that once shook you now break around your edges. You shape rooms, rules, outcomes. You no longer wait for permission to speak or space to stand. You belong to no one, so you can't be moved. That freedom is what terrifies them. Legends don't beg, they don't explain, they exist, and the world reshapes around them. Presence replaces persuasion, action replaces pleading. A glance can close a door or open one wider than words ever could. This isn't about arrogance, it's about discipline. It's about a mind rewired to hold its own ground. The approval you once craved is irrelevant now. What matters is precision, patience, and quiet certainty. If you're done chasing, build in silence. Refine yourself while no one is watching. Return as a force they can't reject, even if they want to. Like the video. Subscribe. Step deeper into the world where power is silent and intelligence is lethal. This is where noise ends and your legend